Hey, what's up? This is Tyler with Analytive.com, and today I'm going to talk about how to make a killer offer using content. Hello, and welcome back to the Analytive Podcast. This is Tyler with Analytive.com. Hey, today I want to talk to you about creating an irresistible offer in your business. This is going to be especially relevant for anybody who is in, say, a consulting business or a commodity business or a service-based business. Basically, if you have a whole lot of people that do the same thing that you do, and there's not a lot of differentiation in the industry, I'm going to talk about a way today to actually help set yourself apart from everybody else in the industry. And the way that we recommend doing this often is through content. So when we think about content, we think about content marketing, right? So you create, an ebook or a guide or a video or something that people download, and that's sort of your bait, right? Or as we call it in marketing, your lead magnet. So you put this ebook out there, you put this video out there, maybe it's behind a paywall or at least an email wall or an email gate so that somebody actually has to enter their information to download it. Super, super common. But I want to talk about something else that's actually a really powerful tool that can help you grow your business if you're in more of a commodity business. And that is by creating unique content that's super valuable. So let me give you an example from Analytive.com. So we, at the time of this recording, have already released two courses that we have. We have one course on search, SEO, search engine optimization in particular, and we have one that dives deep into Google Analytics. It covers data and analytics and tag manager and all things related to data and analytics. Okay, both of that content took a long time to produce. I produced most of it on my own with some help from our team. It's video based and it's actually a paid subscription, right? So people actually pay every single month to get access to that content. So it's something that's super, super valuable. But I've seen people do this with books, online training courses like we've done. Maybe it's original research. They release original research of something valuable or maybe original data, or maybe deep documentation on how a process particularly works. But here's the thing. First of all, we give away most of the content that we create for free. Obviously, you're listening to this podcast. If you're on our email newsletter, which I highly recommend, all that content is free. But we do have some premium content. But the cool thing is for us, it's easy to get sort of caught up in the digital marketing where it becomes a price game, right? Where you're just literally competing on price. Is this agency cheaper? What's different in the way they provide services? For us, this content, in particular, these two courses, this SEO and Google Analytics course, it allows us to become competitive in areas where we may not. So for example, if we have a contract on a client desk and somebody else has a contract on a client desk, but they know with ours that in addition to all the actual services, the marketing services, content creation, web development, all that we're going to provide, we will actually also, in addition to all that, provide access and training to their team to our courses that we've already created. That is massively, massively valuable to people. And why does this help us? Well, first of all, it sets us apart from the competitors, right? All things being equal, we are able to sweeten the deal. We're able to make the actual deal more valuable because we have these courses and this content. The other cool thing is that since this course and this content is actually created, it costs us basically nothing to give them access to this, right? We just have to go in on the software where this exists and we log them in. If you have a book, maybe you give clients a copy of your book. I mean, it costs you $5, $10 at most to actually get a book printed and delivered to their door because you're not going to pay retail on your book. I mean, even if you paid retail, it's probably $20 for a $1,000, multi-million-dollar contract. That could be extremely valuable. And that it's crazy that $20 book can make a difference in a contract like that. It also positions us as an expert. So when we meet with somebody, if they're looking, say, SEO services, which is a service that we offer, and we have actually created, produced, and released a course on SEO, on search engine optimization, we position ourselves as an expert. Just the fact that we might have a course and somebody else does not tends to indicate to people that we are experts in the industry, right? You think that most people who teach, whether rightly or wrongly, I'd say generally rightly, but not always, but most people who teach actually know what they're doing. Right. So, so there's amazing opportunities in content, and content is, in our opinion, one of the best ways to sweeten the deal And that's how we use it in our business. So in order to do that, there are three things of the content. I won't say must have, but three things that make it helpful. So the first one is the content should actually be useful, right? Our SEO courses, our Google Analytics courses are very much kind of a no BS mentality, right? We're focused on really providing useful, actionable data. It's not just about how to use a tool, but it's actually about how to use those tools in a way that can make a difference in the business, to drive revenue, to drive engagement, to get better tracking, to make better business decisions. That's our focus, and that's always been our focus in the business with the content that we create. So it must be useful. Now, whether or not the client or the customer actually ever goes through it really doesn't matter. You have to be proud of the stuff that you create. Basically, this should be content that people are willing to pay for, right? That they would be willing to pay for if you didn't provide it to them. So if it's just a bunch of junk content or really ultra simple, not helpful, don't even bother, right? It makes you look like you're grasping for straws. Or if it has a heavy sales focus where, it's sort of a bait and switch where you think that you're going to provide value or they think you're going to provide value to them, but then you just sort of switch it out, not a good thing. It must also have a perceived value. So for us, at the time of this recording, our courses at a minimum cost $67 a month. Not massive value, but over a scope of a year, you're looking at around $700 or $800 if you keep them for a year. That's really valuable content, especially because the perceived value then is around $600 or $700. So if we include a year or even 6 months or maybe 2 or 3 years worth of training materials, that is margin that we can add into the contract, where our contract is suddenly perceived more. So even though our cost on this is basically zero, other than the few seconds it takes to add them into our system, that it actually drives up perceived value massively. So if you have somebody willing to pay those prices and you have that perceived value, it can add a lot to your contract. And then if you really, really, really want to level up with this, you can make it exclusive. This is something we've chosen at this point not to do with some of our SEO and Google Analytics courses and content. But if you really want to make it exclusive, make some of your trainings only available to your main clients, right? Don't offer it at that $67 a month or $100 a month or whatever. Make it actually exclusive to people who are willing to pay the big bucks to work with you. So we're always producing content, and likely soon some of it will end up in that exclusive category where we're only giving out that type of content to people who are engaging with the brand and with our company at a very high level, right? Or sort of an anchor client level. And that just makes it even more valuable because, again, assuming it's valuable, that'll boost the perceived value as well. So content is an amazing way to make your services more valuable and to set yourself apart from the competition. So here's what I would suggest, and this is what we're in the process of doing right now. Go in and think about what kind of content you can create that will actually be valuable to folks that maybe you can charge money for, but more than anything, it'll help you close the deals that you're already going out there and getting. All right, this is Tyler, and you are listening to the Analytive Podcast.